only on Al Jazeera America.
You're watching Inside Story. I'm Ray Suarez. This is the last day of the struggle for New Hampshire. We looked at the Republican primary in yesterday's program. Today, it's the turn for Granite State Dems. Joining us now, Dakar Lanzino, a Democratic analyst and an associate at the Dewey Square Group, and Lauren Victoria Burke, author and Democratic analyst. And I want to continue on this thing about the women's vote that erupted in the last several days. To bring legendary names to New Hampshire to campaign for you, and it ending up hurting you, is just such a weird turn of events seen from outside. Yet young women are going overwhelmingly for Bernie Sanders. What do you see happening there?
I think that the same pattern that we saw in Iowa we're going to see again in New Hampshire with regard to women and the youth vote. I mean, it's unfortunate they had Gloria Steinem and Madeline Albright, and you would think that would be a real benefit for Hillary Clinton. But as somebody who covered this race in 2008 in New Hampshire and South Carolina, it feels like 8 years is really a long period of time. Ms. Clinton seems a little bit dated. And I'm surprised that I'm saying that, given that, of course, her husband is such a powerhouse force as a fundraiser on the trail, et cetera. But something is missing there in their message, particularly when you see that they have to resort to things like effectively vote for me because I'm female. I mean, it would be as if, you know, Barack Obama said, well, vote for me because I'm black. It's not a specific message for voters to react to.
You mean that was never said in 2008? Was that never said?
No, it was said by other people, but not the candidate.
Okay,
and that's a key thing.
Dakar, I was thinking as I watched the reaction to those statements that a lot of the women who are really bridling when they hear it weren't even born when Gloria Steinem was busting down doors for women and trying to get America to think in a different way about women's aspiration, women's achievement. Is this really a generational problem as much as a gender one?
I think it definitely is a generational problem. You know, the comments that were made, especially by Madeline Albright, were comments that she has said for a long, long time. But Hillary Clinton knows that she can't take every vote for granted. And even though there's a lot of women that do agree with Madeline Albright, in a professional context and even on a personal context, you can't shame voters into voting for you. And Hillary Clinton has not asked anybody to vote for her because she's a woman. You know, she wants people to look at her record and vote for her for the things that she has done on behalf of everyday Americans.
You know, my two daughters are millennials.
Right.
One is a voter, one is about to become one. And the idea that there's a cold place in hell for women who don't help each other is an odd idea to them, because women have always had big jobs during their lives. They can't hear Madeline Albright, who was the only woman in the room, in room after room after room. They just don't understand it.
Right, and exactly what Dakar just said. I mean, this is a generational issue, obviously. I mean, the things that Ms. Steinem said with regard to, you know, you go to Bernie Sanders because that's where the guys are. I mean, that's a very sort of 60s women live thing to say. And, you know, obviously it doesn't work for millennials. They want to hear about college affordability. They want to hear about economic issues that obviously impact their lives just like any other group of voters. So I think it goes to a broader problem with the Clinton campaign not having a message, a real message as to why she's here and why she's running and why people should support her. It's not there yet. And some of these other candidates, you know, at least they have some sort of a slogan. Even if it's something like, you know, make America great again, that's understandable. You know why that candidate is in the race. And for Mrs. Clinton, and this is a familiar problem that we saw in 2008, that message is not there. And so, you know, the millennial vote is extremely important. As Barack Obama demonstrated, it's part of the Obama coalition. It's part of the Democratic coalition. And for her not to have a specific message for them other than, okay, I'm female, is a huge problem.
Wait a minute. Is that really the problem? That there's no message there except I'm a woman?
No, there definitely is a message. And like I just said, Hillary Clinton hasn't asked anybody to vote for her because she is a woman. She's not taking any vote for granted. She wants people to look at her record. And especially with millennials, they're not aware of the record that she has built through the years, whether it was going to work for the Children's Defense Fund right after college instead of going to a law firm to make lots of money, or registering Latinos in the Texas Valley in the early 1970s, or going to Alabama to help desegregate schools over there. So Hillary Clinton has a record, and she's running on that record. She hasn't asked anybody to vote for her because she's a woman, and she's not taking any votes for granted, especially on such an important
But if you're
election.
20 years old, I was in Alabama in the 70s helping to desegregate schools. Does that cut a lot of ice?
I think it does, but at the end of the day, people want the Hillary Clinton campaign wants everybody to look at her record, everything that she has done when she was First Lady of Arkansas, when she was First Lady of the United States, when she was in the Senate, and then a Secretary of State. The list goes on. When you contrast her record with Bernie Sanders, and the more that people hear about her accomplishments, she will get some of those undecideds tonight.
It's not too late. I mean, we just got started. She could throttle back on
absolutely.
I'm a woman,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. She could, if she comes sort of close tonight, obviously she's expected to lose tonight, but if she gets within 10 points, that would be sort of seen, I think, as sort of a victory. And obviously she's going into South Carolina state, Nevada and South Carolina, states that are probably going to be more favorable for her. They're probably going to tweak their message after tonight. I mean, that's the rumor, that there will be some sort of a campaign shakeup. And frankly, I think after that, you will see some differences in the message. They've been on defense too much in these first two contests, and they've got to get off defense.
The oldest candidate in the race has the youngest supporters. His female opponent is having trouble attracting women's support. So don't assume anything. Granite State Dems, stay with us. It's Inside Story.